Texans defense from Monday night pitched a shutout in the second half against the Dallas Cowboys, and we are entering a whole new conversation about this defense. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead. Your host, as always, Harley Duke. And remember, guys, this is The Lead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time, where I talk about your favorite Houston sports teams, Astros, Rockets, Texans. You're not going to find anybody with more passion about those teams than this guy right here. And I'm here to talk about the Texans-Cowboys game one more time because specifically we're going to delve into this Texans defense. My goodness. The first half, albeit very conservative. And after seeing the whole game, I guess the tune has changed. But I had a tweet that was around the beginning or the end of the second quarter where I thought the Houston Texans defense was playing very conservative, a lot of soft zones. And I saw a lot of people disagree with like, oh, well, Kamari Lassiter isn't playing, so that's why you got to play zones. No. There isn't nobody on the Cowboys wide receivers that I'm worried about at all. Like Derek Stingley was locking up CeeDee Lamb. The Texans defense was doing a good job taking control of CeeDee Lamb. Yes, he still had 8 catches for 93 yards, but man, he was working for it. And you could see him on the sideline frustrated. He was frustrated at Cooper Rush. It just wasn't a good day or a good night for CeeDee Lamb, especially when Derek Stingley was guarding him. So I don't want to hear all that, man. Texans were playing very conservative, I thought, in the first half. Cooper Rush was taking advantage of a lot of soft zones, just chipping away. Now, yes, did they score touchdowns off of it? No. And hey, bend don't break defense. Unfortunately, they went for it on the fourth down. But I thought the second half, the Houston Texans defense mimicked similarly to how they played against the Detroit Lions. They revved it up into another level, and we are having some crazy discussions about how great this Texans defense is. I mean, my goodness, we're talking about one of the best defenses in football, a defense that could carry you into a playoff win, maybe 2 playoff wins. I'm being dead serious. This defense isn't fully healthy. They're doing this without Will Anderson, without Kamari Lassiter, without Christian Harris. And who knows what's going to happen when Christian Harris comes back. I understand that everyone's like, oh, well, there's no report on Christian Harris. What's going on with him? I've mentioned before, I still think that it's similar to Juice Scruggs. Last year, Juice Scruggs did not come back until, I want to say, November 28th. So that was late November. I expect Christian Harris to probably be back around then, around late November, early December. If anything, though, like the bye week pretty much is in good relation into what Christian Harris's comeback will happen. So, yeah, I think both of those go hand in hand, and I think he comes back after the bye week, and you have him ready for the Miami Dolphins, Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens in 10 days. That's going to be wild. This Houston Texans defense, albeit the Dallas Cowboys, pitched a shutout in the second half. Look, I know the Cowboys are absolutely horseshit. I get that, but man, it is impressive. It is extremely tough, first of all, to pitch a shutout on any team in the NFL for a whole half. And the Houston Texans did just that. They revved up the pressure. Daniel Hunter, just a monster. The Nico Autry did his thing. Derek Stingley did his thing. Jalen Petrie, we need to have some conversations. Jalen Petrie is showing out, man. He is. I will take the good and the bad with Jalen Petrie. We all know he's not the greatest man coverage in the slot. We all know that. But for the majority of the season, it just hasn't been too much of a problem. Kudos to D'Amico Ryans for utilizing him into his best ability. Something the New England Patriots did and Bill Belichick did a lot of was utilizing guys into the best abilities, into what their strengths are. He's done that with Jalen Petrie. He has done that with Devin White recently, who has become a really strong linebacker for you, in addition to Azeez Al-Shaair, in addition to the vast improvements that Henry T has made this year. He has been an absolute monster on the defensive side of the ball. My goodness, he has been fun to watch. And we saw this last year with Christian Harris and his improvements he made into possibly being a Pro Bowl linebacker for the foreseeable future. Now, albeit he hasn't, been healthy this year, but what happens when he comes back? I don't know how they align them linebackers, but I love the depth right now for the linebacker position, along with those guys, Neville Hewitt, Jake Hansen. He's missing linebackers, D'Amico Ryans. It doesn't matter. He gets it done. This defense has been the calling card all year for the Houston Texans. They are legitimately playing like one of the best defenses in football, and they can legitimately take out any of the best offenses in the league. We saw that against the Detroit Lions. If the offense plays their part, we know this defense can shut down anybody in the league. This is the same Detroit Lions team that has spanked teams, that has obliterated some teams in the NFL, looking like high school scores out there. 52 points just this previous week for the Detroit Lions against the Jacksonville Jaguars, where the Lions just looked like absolute horseshit for a first half against the Texans. Second half, they obviously made adjustments. Offense has to play better in that game. We're not going to get into it, but the defense shut down a Ben Johnson-led offense, and they did it very, very well. Now I am curious to see what can they do against a Miami Dolphins team, against a Baltimore Ravens team, against a Kansas City Chiefs team. And guess what? You play all three of those teams in a 10-day stretch, like I mentioned before. I'm excited to see where this defense can lead you. You got some playmakers. You got some guys that are stars, superstars, growing stars that are coming up on this defense. And I'm very, very excited to see where it's going to go. Unfortunately, the offense is still a problem, but hopefully, if there is any sort of minor improvements from this offense, this team can make a deep playoff run, and I truly believe that, and that is because of D'Amico Ryans and that defense. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.